it is very difficult. It is extremely hard to stand behind an idea, to stand behind a perception, to stand behind a cause that you do not believe in. And only that only happens if you come to a discussion, if you come to a table, if you come to a room without your authentic self. Hey guys and girls, how are you doing? So in the last video we talked about creator and creating, and I know that the next question can be or might be, what do I have to offer and how do I fit into everything happening? Well, here's the thing. I think and I'm confident that the best thing you can ever offer the world, the only thing that you can offer the world is yourself. So let's call this, all you can offer is your authentic self. And I know when you look around the world and everything that's going on and what people are doing, what content creators are making, what engineers are building, what fashion designers are making, all the crafts, it seems from afar that everything is the same, but it's not really the same. So you wonder, you're like, how can I be different? How can I offer something that's not being offered? It's just the same thing, honestly, being offered around the world, but it's just that it is infused with authenticity, with originality, with the essence of whoever is offering it. So the only thing you can offer the world is your authentic self. Even in a workplace, even in something as mundane as a 9 to 5, the most authentic thing you can offer is yourself. And that's why it's very easy for us to see when someone has copied something, when they've not been original. We can tell when they are copying. We can tell when they're inspired, because the essence of who has been copied comes through in the work. So the best thing you can offer the world is your authentic self. And you shouldn't compromise on that. You shouldn't dismiss that. And I know there's an inclination. It's tough. It's difficult to tell someone to be authentic in a world of trends, in a world of viral moments. So how is it easy? How is it possible to be authentic rather than be viral? Which one will you choose? Authenticity. How are you thinking about authenticity when bills are bearing down your neck, when there's an end to be met, a target to be met in the workplace? How do you thrive in such a place? How do you let yourself to be, to be seen? And so that is why it is very difficult today, because authenticity is such a threatened thing right now. It's such a hard thing to perceive. It's such a hard thing to maintain, because there's a lot of opposition coming against authenticity. And yet it's such a beautiful thing. There's so much, like all the people who have, broken through ceilings that we could possibly never have imagined. There's a place they went to inward. There's a place they sought for themselves that made them shine. And so it's important to think about what you can offer and how differently you can offer it. It's important to think about your value and not just as a placeholder in any place. It's important to think about your difference, how different you are, and how well you can do things. It's important that you figure out how strategically to place yourself in an already saturated industry or field, whatever it may be. And that is just simply it. You just need to search deeper within to find the answers. And we cannot be everyone. We cannot be everyone, and everyone ultimately cannot be us. The aim is for us to be able to interpret, to be able to conceive, to be able to translate the needs of the world, the needs of our societies, and to individually produce a result out of that, to individually produce a product that is unequivocally ours, that is undeniably our essence, because it is very difficult. It is extremely hard to stand behind an idea, to stand behind a perception, to stand behind a cause that you do not believe in. And only that only happens if you come to a discussion, if you come to a table, if you come to a room without your authentic self. It's hard to put in, it's hard to put out. So I think that we should re-emphasize, we should revisit the conversation about being unapologetically authentic to ourselves, to what we can create, to what has been molded in us to be, to what has been molded in us to do. So not taking away from the fact that times are hard and there is a need to survive, but I think that we can find the right balance to evolve, right? To evolve, because there are many places, especially in the workplaces, where we are stuck in traditions, where we are stuck in processes, where we are stuck in ways of doing that have not evolved, that have not essentially evolved with the needs of society that are evolving and what we need to sustain ourselves, to sustain our goals and our dreams. I think that if we overcome the challenges to authenticity, I think we are better for each other. We are better, we provide better, we serve better, because our essence comes through, and that's something that we can get behind. That's something that we can protect and defend. So there's just, and there's I think there's an inclination, there is a bias, and sometimes it can be a stronghold for us to think that there can only be one great. And so we all align to that. We all focus on that. We all gravitate towards that, to think that we can only be one great. But there is room for everyone. There's plenty of room for us to all shine, to all be something. There's greatness in individuality and its possibilities. It's unlikeliness, how it surprises us when people shine in ways that we did not think were possible. It's such a wonderful thing to be a part of, to witness, to experience, when someone comes out with something beautiful because they trusted, they believed that they're authentic enough to produce it and to make it. And so authenticity should come through, originality. Okay, I know there is a lot of pressure, but that's all it's ever going to be. And if you give in to that pressure, if you give in to the fear, then it's going to drive you, and you'll never really be who you're supposed to be. You will never really be, if you do not present yourself for criticism, if you don't present whatever you have to be judged. That's how you'll live in fear. That's how pressure will take over you, and you'll sell out, and you'll have everyone else, including yourself, missing out on such a great thing because you couldn't hold on a little longer. You couldn't grip it a little harder to produce it, to birth it, And that's the thing, though, about authenticity, is that it's like a voice. It's like a child. It's like a plant. If it's not watered, if it's not nurtured, then eventually it dies. And one day you come back, you're looking for it, you need it, and you cannot recognize who your authentic self is, all because you're covered up in patches of many somebody else's that you do not even know, that you do not even recognize. And that's not to say that we shouldn't be inspired. We should be inspired, we should learn, we should be teachable by people. But once you take that and mold it into yourself, there is no one size fits all. So take what you've been given, take what you've learned, and make it unapologetically yours. Make it authentic. And that's how we grow. That's how we evolve. We cannot stay the same. We are not the same. We have not been the same for as long as humanity has existed. And so you need to nurture the voice, you need to nurture the talent, you need to nurture yourself, because if you do not nurture yourself, then yourself dies. So you need to nurture it, but you also need to show it to the world. If you don't show it to the world, it dies. If you don't nurture it, it dies. So that's the best thing you can be. That's the best you can do for yourself. The best you can offer to the world is your authentic self. So I hope this helps. I hope this gives you a ton of things to think about. And we'll see you on the next one.